today, this wonderful day of the power of the Holy Spirit. Monsignor's homily was very powerful, and as well as his life. For 40 years, he's ministered as a priest from the time of his baptism and his growing up. The Holy Spirit's power blessed him and sent him the graces to fulfill the calling that God has called him to be all that he can be for his church. And today, when I was thinking of something to prepare my homily, I found a definition in the dictionary, but it represents what Monsignor is. It's from the dictionary, it's not from the Theological Journal. It says spirit, the divine influence working in the human heart. That is what we celebrate on Pentecost for all of us, but especially today, we celebrate that divine spirit in Monsignor's heart, how it's worked so wonderfully with a vision always for the future. The Holy Spirit is always pushing us forward, always with hope and peace. Peace be with you, and love for all people. So may we celebrate this wonderful feast of Pentecost that coincides so wonderfully with Monsignor's 40th anniversary celebration. Let us thank God for the gift of the
He really was. It was an absolute wonderful privilege. And I think there's so many of my memories of going through these halls and sitting in these classrooms and with the sisters and all the people who have been an influence on my life. One of those influences was Father John Summers. Father John Summers was the associate pastor here with Monsignor Marceau when the parish first began. And I can remember one day in class, he would come over and teach religion classes one day a week. And for some reason, I wasn't paying attention. I used to daydream and look out the window, and I hope maybe I was thinking about the future. But I could remember him saying, okay, Lou, get up here, and I had to sit down on the side of the desk here. And I can remember sitting there and looking up at him, and I mean this with all my heart. It was the very first day I said, I want to be a priest. I want to be like him. And I told him that at an anniversary mass that we just had in the diocese. And I said it was just a very profound experience, and I never forgot about that. And I really believe that the Lord does call us in strange ways and in different ways in terms of being priest. And so I ask all of our young people to listen to the voice of God within your heart and within your spirit, because I have no idea how God is calling you or what God is calling you to be. But on the day of my ordination, the bishop said, will you practice what you teach? And I've been very privileged to be a teacher most of my life in some role of teaching. And I pray to God that I know some days we're just very weak and very weak personally. And yet God somehow uses us as instruments to do something and to bring about some good or some awareness or some part of our lives. And so I thank God, and I hope, and I ask you to pray for me, that I will continue to be, I believe that in my heart, above all as a pastor, I'm also a teacher. And I hope that those two powers can be linked together in me, so that when I stand before the Lord, He'll somehow be able to say to me, well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over a few things, and welcome now, and let me be seated at that table of the Lord. So I do thank you, and but I want you to think of what an absolutely wonderful parish you have here. And that parish began a long time ago. It was built on the foundation of so many families and so many priests and sisters and people who have been a part. Many of you have been part of that foundation. Hopefully it will continue to grow, and it will continue to somehow, you know, coming from a construction family, I hope that I can put one block into that foundation, and that one block will help build and